Okay, we're going to get our first speaker up. First speaker is Ali Syed, who's the Director of International Revenue and Growth at Zoominfo. We've got a crowd from Zoominfo tonight, I think. How many have we got from Zoominfo? Oh, good number. Very good work. Like that. So Ali is going to be talking about the benefits of diversity in sales teams. Just a bit about Ali if you don't already know him. So he joined Zoominfo earlier this year, previously led sales teams at Oracle, Expedia, Attest, and at Google as well. If you don't know Zoominfo, where have you been? Zoominfo is a global leader in go-to-market intelligence solutions. Their platform empowers business-to-business sales, marketing, and recruiting professionals to hit their number by pairing best-in-class technology with unrivaled data. Ali is on a lapel mic and is going to head up to the stage now. Please welcome him with a round of applause. Thank you.
Thanks, Owen. When I look around the room today, I look at the faces here and I think there is a great opportunity for us to really drive diversity in our business. I can see that we've done a great job across the organizations that are here today with the leaders that we have, but there's places for us to go more. So with that, I'm going to talk to you about my story and how we can actually activate that and create real opportunity for us in the marketplace. There we go. Got you. So who is this strapping young lad? 50 years ago, my father decided to come to the UK, leaving his family behind and deciding to start a new life in the UK. Why did he decide to do that? Against the wishes of his parents, against a wish of moving into a career, into having a military career. But he did it to be able to prove to himself and to others the drive of being able to want to find a better life in the UK. 10 years on, over here, we kind of see that he's kept the ambition with the Mercedes, but not with the outfit. So obviously he's really kind of decided here that 50 years ago that he has got a thing to prove. He came here to decide to leave something behind and drive on a new decision or a new career for himself. But his reasons to do this were twofold now. One, he's here on his own, and two, he also has to prove back home that the reason why he moved was a valuable reason as well. So when I think about that, I think about the hard work that has to go into that. 3 or 4 jobs to work to be able to afford to live and rent in a crowded apartment with other individuals that are looking to try and achieve the same thing. Those are innate things that get built into individuals that you can't talk about on a CV. These are things that you cannot express it. Sometimes, arguably, you can't even ask those questions from a HR perspective to talk for people to allow them to talk about their story. So how do you draw out this information? How do you recognize these soft skills that don't actually represent themselves on a piece of paper? Well, that's what I'm here to talk about today, because the proof is in those sales leaders or in those sales teams that are actually delivering success through driving diversity in their business. So when I talk about the data that's going to come up in just a second, I want you guys to think about today how you can break the status quo. Think about across all those different diversity. My experience is about ethnicity, but there is a socioeconomic background. There are sexual orientation, gender. There are so many different ways to categorize diversity, equity, and inclusion. How do you do that when sometimes you are restricted to be able to do it? Well, actually, we need to start from the beginning. And what does that beginning look like? Thank you. But first, before we talk about what you can do to activate that, I want to talk about some real proof points that why you should care in this room. As sales leaders, we always care about the number. The number is all we care about, but is it the only thing that we should be caring about? What this tells us is that sales leaders that were interviewed back in 2021 from a Forrester research report, over 500 B2B leaders had identified that diversity in their sales teams proves success. And if you can see to the right of this here, we can see this from leaders to laggards, where opportunity conversion from leads to opportunity actually goes from 26% down to up to 54%, just on conversion of opportunities. Just think about what your pipeline might look like by adding those extra 30-odd points. When we go even further down the pipeline funnel and you look about opportunity to customer, we can see there from laggards to leaders, you're going from 19% to 24%. That is a massive jump, especially when you are looking at millions of dollars of responsibility in this room. So when you think about that, this is what you should be thinking about when you start thinking about a recruitment policy or a hiring policy that is going to drive diversity and inclusion in your business. There we go. So when I'm up here and I sound like I'm preaching a little bit, so I do apologize. But we are also putting this proof into practice as well. This is just a representation of Zoominfo's leadership team in London as we officially launched our office in May. So you can see here, we have got a huge representation in this room, not just from leadership, all the way down to our individual contributors as well. And this, for me, is a really proud moment to be able to talk about this, because actually it proves success based on the previous slide that I've just showed you. So my final point really to bring to you today is that what you can do today, or what you can take back with you in your organizations to really be able to start driving a diversity-focused, inclusive-focused approach to your hiring methodology. The first one is about auditing your process. Does your process today contain unconscious bias? And the way that you look at unconscious bias is by actually really looking at every stage of your recruitment methodology. Are you identifying areas here? Apologies, I don't think you can see that immediately. But the first things could be so simple, like using a tool or a product like Grammarly on your description, on your job descriptions. How inclusive are your sales profiles that might be focused heavily towards A or alpha male individuals? That you are immediately taking away a huge proportion of opportunity or of talent pool there straight away. The second thing that you could potentially do is also blinding your CVs. So when they come over from your recruitment team, remove names off the CVs immediately. So you're really just looking at the language, the experience, and the talent that you're looking to bring into your business. Standardizing the process is really, really important. One of the things that I think that when we can start looking at stack ranking, when you're particularly going through a growth phase, is identifying a rubrics where every single hiring individual that is across your team is using the same sets of questions. These questions enable you to really get to the heart of what it is that you're trying to hire for. And it removes any bias out of the equation that tends to creep in. It's unconscious. It happens to me. It happens to everyone. And finally, when we talk about culture fit, actually, I think really what you should be talking about is culture add. Adding to your culture is what drives diversity and inclusion within your business. Think about how you can develop a recruitment team that is heavily focused on recruiting towards positively biasing towards diversity and inclusion. And all the other elements that I've highlighted here really give you the opportunity to start. So it's not difficult to start. When you look at it, when you look at the parts of the whole sum, it makes life a lot easier to drive diversity and inclusion. So when you think of it, when you think about it in totality, it can be very difficult. It can be challenging. Break it down into its component parts, and you will see step by step that you will start getting to a better place with your diversity inclusion within your teams. Thank you.